Welcome back, Schmoedown fans, to another episode of Beyond the Schmoedown. I'm Star Wars competitor Andrew Dimalanta.
And I'm Nicki Dimalanta.
Future Star Wars competitor Nicki Dimalanta. We'll get to that in a little bit.
What?
Potential future Star Wars competitor
Maybe.
Nicki Dimalanta. But
Let's see.
wow, we took a week off
Yes.
just to have everybody celebrate the holidays.
Yes.
You know, with their respective families. But we did put out a fun video.
A weird video. I forgot about that. Oh
And
my
the response was more than I
God.
expected.
So stupid. Like, seriously. One night.
Yeah.
Lots of wine. I'm like, wouldn't it be funny? Wouldn't it be funny?
Schmoedown ASMR. People are actually asking for a second video.
That's weird.
And if you haven't seen it already, I'll probably put a card up in that corner
don't.
or put it in the description. It'll be at the end cards at the end of the episode up for sure. If you're
Yeah.
listening, watch this on YouTube, head over to the channel, check out that ASMR video.
It was
because
weird. But I like weird.
I like weird. Chandru likes weird. He commented on it.
does.
That was a lot of fun. Before we continue, turn the fan on. It's getting hot in here.
Oh, is it?
For me, it is.
I was chilly. That's why I got my jacket on.
I mean, I'm getting warm. Anyways.
Must
anyway.
be all the spicy ASMR
Spicy.
talk.
But I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Who knows?
For us, it was a one-off, but who knows? We might do another one. But that was fun.
Who knows?
It was fun.
You
But
never
yeah,
know what is going to happen when.
there's more than what we would normally think of in the Schmoedown off season that we have to go over because
A lot of stuff's
a
happened.
lot of stuff's happened. A lot of stuff is dropping. A lot of chess pieces are being moved around. So to
Oh,
speak.
yeah. People are, dancing
Oh yeah, dancing the
behind the
dance.
scenes. They're doing the dance.
Mhm. I've had conversations
They are
with
playing
people.
chess. They
So-
are just, there's stuff
It's
happening.
a lot of moving pieces, and decisions have to be made sooner rather than later.
You know,
for a couple
you never know.
You never
That's
know when
what
it
you
happen.
know.
So, but among the things that have been going on, I think we'll talk about this first. Is the new point system for next season was announced on Backstage this past week. So we'll briefly talk about this.
Supreme Leader Harloff went on to
The Supreme Leader.
Backstage
I will.
and bestowed us with knowledge.
I am calling him Supreme Leader.
No, probably not. It's not a compliment.
that's true.
That's kind of bad, actually.
Ignore
Never
me.
mind.
So the chairman himself, Christian Harloff,
What's a good thing from?
the Emperor.
Nope, that's not a good thing.
He's starting a new
Well,
show
he calls
called.
himself Darth Harloff, so
Yeah.
it kind of just feels wrong.
I don't know, but the chairman himself went on Backstage this past week, and
Chancellor?
the chancellor. Are we still on this?
I just feel bad.
Anyways, he went on Backstage this past week and announced the new point system. He also announced that the rule book will be going out to the public. $10 patrons get it first, and then a month later,
The public.
will get it. We as competitors have already seen this because it was part of our contract that we signed for this upcoming season. So we already know what the rule book entails. But I'm not at liberty to say what's in it until it's because I'm not gonna say anything because it's gonna be available to everybody.
You'll find out soon enough.
You'll find out soon enough, but I don't think I'm at liberty to say what is in there. But the point system has been made public, and I'm trying to brush over all divisions broadly and just point out. So for all divisions, TKOs and knockouts will be worth an extra point, and
Feels right.
And no, I'm sorry. A KO is worth an extra point, but a TKO and a KO for the opposing person is a point off of that faction.
Oh.
So if you get knocked out, either KO or TKO'd, your faction loses a point.
But you only get an extra point if it's a KO.
If it's a KO.
Oh, I thought it was an extra point for both.
So
okay.
this has been talked about. It's like, should we get negative points? Because
No,
like,
it feels right.
yeah, and
I guess.
And for that, on that note, if you're on the same faction as somebody and you go head to head, it discourages cheating to get extra points.
That's true, because that was always something that people were like, they
Yeah,
gonna
not like
throw it on purpose?
Yeah,
You
no,
know?
not like somebody would throw it on purpose, but this discourages it. So now everybody has to,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
And might I just throw out something I saw
Mm-hmm.
on the internet that I thought was an interesting point, and I
Mm.
hadn't thought about it. And people were like, "Oh, I feel like this new TKO and KO thing is gonna discourage, fun throwaway
That's a good point, too.
matches like Flirt and Flouse, and stuff like that. And because you can kind of see what's gonna happen sometimes. So factions might not want to take chances on people that are more
Like Sheridan
entertainment than they are, competitive.
Yeah.
So, but
There are ways
I'm
around
not too
that.
worried about that. The way around it is a exhibition match. If you
Exhibition
want to
match
have
is a
some
way
Flirt
around
and
it.
Flouse, Tommy Wiseau, exhibition match.
You look at the way that because Harloff compared this to, it's not a traditional sport. It's more like boxing, the way that the divisions are formatted and stuff like that. You put Sheridan against somebody. I'm saying Sheridan because it's the first name that came up.
So Flirt and Flouse.
Yeah. Put him against somebody that's of equal knowledge with him. That's the way around it. So then
In singles, it's your girl. He might even be a little ahead of me.
Yeah, or me for that matter. Because if it's not Star Wars, it's hard. But yeah, so that's a way around it. But
Yes.
so yes, TKOs and knockouts will be a point deducted for the losing member.
Yeah.
But a KO will be worth an extra point for the winner. Triple threats are worth 5 points. Regular triple threat matches are worth 5 points. Title match triple threats are worth 10 points. We'll get to that point later. So if it's a triple threat, that's a title match. It's worth 10 points. Fatal 4-way title matches are worth 12.
Wait, say that again?
Fatal 4-ways.
Oh.
So fatal 4-ways are worth 12. Fatal
Okay.
5-way title matches are worth 15. I have no idea what title will be on the line for 5 different players.
Yeah. Has there ever been a 5-way for a
Star
belt?
Wars. The first
A 5-way? Oh.
and the inaugural
yeah, that's
title
true.
match
the
was
inaugural match, yeah.
Yeah, it was a 5-way title
Very
match.
different circumstance.
So that's I don't foresee us ever getting to that point, but you never
Who knows?
know. Even a fatal 4-way. So that's for that. The singles division. So that was across all divisions. Doesn't matter what type of division it is.
Yes.
For the singles and teams division, regular matches will be worth 2 points, like it was in the past match. Number one contender matches for all divisions will be worth 4 points. Title matches for all divisions are worth 7 points. A title defense. So if you go in and you defend the title for all divisions, is an extra point.
That sounds about right.
Star Wars and IG are worth regular season are worth 3 points. All tournament matches will be worth 4 points. No, sorry. All tournament matches will be worth 3. All tournament finals will be worth 4. All title matches will be worth 7 points. Except when you get to spectacular, title matches at spectacular will be worth 10 points. With the extra title defense point, and non-title matches at spectacular is to be determined. So at this point, a spectacular match, non-title match, would probably be worth, depending on the division, 2 to 3 points.
Oh, boy, that was
So
a lot of numbers.
It's a lot. But I think the most interesting, when I heard it, the most interesting thing was that KO, the point off your faction, because that's
it makes a lot of sense.
yeah, it does. It's because nobody wants to get knocked out, and it's extra incentive for people to work harder.
Yeah.
Especially if by the end of the season, say we're at the Inner Geekdom title match, and you're a point off of to win the faction, knock the person out.
Yeah.
Get that, even TKO them, get them that point off, and then it's extra
Yeah.
points for you.
I'm actually now that we've talked about it a little bit more, I do like the whole extra point for a KO.
Yes.
And not necessarily TKO,
Yeah.
because KOs, they don't happen all that often.
You have to really work for it.
So that definitely actually makes sense. Before I was kind of like, but
Yeah,
now I'm
what's
like,
the-
okay,
yeah.
yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense.
And it does, because before this, it's like, well, what's the difference? Like TKO, KO, it's just like the bragging rights.
Nah, there's a
now
difference.
Now there's a huge difference.
I think there was a difference before the point, but yeah.
Yeah.
Now it's even more of a
Now
difference.
there's no difference, because before it's just like, oh yeah, I knocked him out versus TKO. It's just extra clout for your name. Now it's like, oh, now I get an extra point for it, and I took away a
took your
point.
point. It's a 2-point swing, my
Yeah,
dude.
it's a 2-point swing. So I think that's the most interesting thing about this. And I think the other thing that we definitely want to talk about is that triple threat title matches are now worth 10 points. Mm-hmm. Because now it is actual incentive for Alex Damon to go into triple threat versus me and the winner of the Molly Damon Laura Kelly match.
Is it?
We looked at this several different ways. It's like he can get 10 points. He potentially, if he goes into triple threat, defends the belt, that's 11 points right there.
Right.
Or he can split that up into 2 and say he defends both times.
Right.
Then that's, 8 points each? for each title defense. So he has an opportunity to get a lot of points no matter which way he goes. But I think it's just more added incentive for like, because before it's like, what's the benefit of him going to triple threat?
Yeah.
Because before that, it's like just spread the competition out because you get more points that way. But now with this, it's like, oh, right off the bat, you can get 11 points.
True.
So,
but it also does still seem like if you spread it out, you have the potential for more points.
Yeah.
You just got to win both.
Yeah. But he also has that thing of the rubber match.
Yeah.
If he loses any of these, goes back to, like, if he loses the title the first time, rubber match, and he has even more opportunity for more points, regardless of if it's a triple threat or if it's a one-on-one.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I mean, I know the way that I want it to go.
Yeah.
And looking at it from a managerial standpoint, I already know it's like, yeah, of course, split the difference, like spread it out as much as possible.
If you're looking to get the most possible points, then it would make more sense if you have confidence in Alex Damon, which why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
You know, then
because
you can get more points if you make it into 2 matches.
Yeah, and that's where the naysayers make him. It's like, it's not a guarantee that he'll get those points because he has to win the match.
Exactly.
But if you're gonna ban out somebody,
it's probably Alex Damon.
Yeah, but obviously going into that match, I like to think I have a really good shot at it.
I'd like to think that's why you have the shot.
Yeah.
So.
And then whoever comes out of that other match with Molly and Laura.
Exactly.
So a lot of things to consider with that. And also this new point system, title matches, 7 points.
7.
So now you're not like it's they call it the Alex Damon rule. Like now he's not just sitting there not doing anything on your roster, and in Star Wars he only made what, 4 points. So
what?
For Alex Damon last season, the only Star Wars points he made was 4 points, right?
Something like that.
4 or 5. Or
he TKO'd him, right? So yeah.
Yeah, so at most he only made 5 points in Star Wars last year. Now with this new system, especially if it was a spectacular, that's 11 points.
Yeah.
And then a point off of the opposing player. So it's interesting with this new point spread. It's more incentive for you to have a title now, because before it's like, what's the point of the title if they're just gonna be sitting?
All the same.
Yeah,
they're all just sitting in the wings.
They're just sitting on the bench and waiting for their title defense, especially in IG and Star Wars.
Yeah.
But now they're worth more.
Yeah.
So that's the point system. I think another thing that dropped was all these names.
Oh my God, there was so many names.
And I apologize. I don't know all these people.
Same.
I mean, there's the only 3, but the 2 people that dropped that I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool, was the guy who's on SCN. He does the voices. What's his name? I already forgot it.
Oh no, you said a whole bunch of names jokingly that now those are the only names I can think of.
I think I still have it up.
Andrew said other. We know that it's a first.
Josh Robert Thompson.
There you go. We knew that it was a 3-namer, but he threw some joke 3-namers at me, and now that's the only thing I can think of. I already forgot it.
Yeah, Josh Robert Thompson. So he was announcing. I'm like, oh, that's fun. But the one name that stuck out to me was you have no idea who this was, but it's a YouTube reviewer that I followed for years. It was John Flickinger. The flip pick himself. I'm like, oh, that's fun. I've been following him for years on YouTube, and now
I've seen his picture before. He's got a big
You've
smile.
seen me watching a couple of his movie reviews. He's like, he's in that group of like Jeremy Johns, Chris Stuckman, and he was in that in Schmoes, and he's in that core group of 5 reviewers that I've always watched their reviews. So I was like, that's interesting. I can't wait to see what he is, because he's knowledgeable. It's just, but how will he fare? And he's buddies with the Schmoes, so their relationship stems back even before the Schmoedown. So I was interested to see him. But then there was another name that came around that this breathes life into me, and I'm so excited.
That takes life out of me.
Our very own Nicki Dimalanta is entering the draft as a Star Wars competitor.
Yes.
And oh my God, I have been pestering you for the longest time. Like, just put your name in there.
Yeah.
Just give it an honest shot. I think you can throw it around with this, other Star Wars competitors in this division.
Well, I guess we'll find out.
I mean, give me the rundown. Like, what was the conversation like? And because this is exclusive to us. Come on now. I mean, not the news dropping, but like the road to being announced in the draft. Like, what was it like? What were the conversations you had and stuff like that? Because This all stemmed from me jokingly saying Dimalantis versus Damon on Backstage.
Yes.
And then next thing you know, the chairman,
yes,
does Nicki want to play? And it just spiraled from there. And you had a... why am I telling it? You tell the story.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know if is this cool to talk about?
I mean, don't give details, but just give us the basic rundown of how it happened.
So, yeah, on Backstage, Andrew, somebody asked a question. What was the question? They were like, what's a match you'd love to see?
Oh, what Star Wars player would you want to team up with if there was a Star Wars team division?
There you go.
Yeah.
Thanks to whoever made that question.
And who would you want to go up against?
Because Andrew was like, I thought it'd be kind of fun if I win the Dimalantas against the Damons. And then, people heard that. And then I got a DM I got a little text of Rooney. And I was like, hey, you got a minute? I'm like, no, I don't think I do. I'm scared.
But you were on the phone with him for a while, though.
Yeah, we were on the phone for a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And I was just kind of like, hey, man, I don't know. I don't think I'm good enough to do this. And he was just kind of like, hey, I've heard that before.
Yeah.
And you never know until you give it a go. And
yeah,
by the end of the conversation, he was like, you want to know how I know that you're going to do this? Because you haven't hung up on me yet. I'm like, oh,
this is
no.
a lengthy conversation, too. And we're not going to tell you, things that were said in that conversation. But it was like he
told me who the Schmoedown was. But you're not going to find out.
Yeah,
I'm kidding. He didn't say it.
No, but from what I hear, because you told me about the conversation, it's he drives a hard bargain. He's a smooth talker.
Yeah, I told him, hey, man, if you were selling me a car right now, I'd be like, where are the keys? Because I'm ready to sign. Because, man, this is a convincing one, that one.
Yeah. But I'm excited. It breathes new life because, I'm finding any new reason to be excited about the season. Obviously, I'm determined and I'm obviously the fire is there, but I'm always looking for new reason to be excited about the Schmoedown. And you coming into the draft is this is fun. This is, and there are a lot of people who are like, oh man, yeah, this is great news.
Yeah, I was surprised to see anybody say that, but yeah, no, we'll see how it goes. Yeah. I mean, first of all, somebody's got to pick me.
Yeah.
So that's the first
signed.
step.
You got to be drafted.
That's fine. I don't want to be signed. Don't use the spot on me. It's a good thing you can't.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it all depends on if anybody picks me up in the draft or in free agency. It all hinges on that. We'll see.
Yeah, and your name is among a lot of names in Star Wars. There's a lot of Star Wars rookies. I mean, most notably the 3 Dragon Con players that are coming in. Yeah. People have their eyes on them. I mean,
StarWars.net.
The Star Wars .net people are coming in. It's just a matter of how familiar are they willing to make themselves with this game. Because, I mean, we said it in the past couple episodes, the Dragon Con knowledge that you have to just be able to be considered for that, what was 10 competitors that are in that aired match. You have to know a lot.
It's expansive.
It's so expansive. Just the amount of stuff that you have to know across all of Star Wars canon is very impressive.
Yeah.
And it's but the Schmoedown's a different game.
Yeah. We were just talking about it not 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
And I was like, if you entered, Andrew, anybody who might not be watching, who else would I be talking to? Let's be honest.
Yeah.
If Andrew, you entered Dragon Con, it would be a much different mindset. I'm fully certain that his study tactics and strategies would change.
Yeah, what type of things I have to pay attention.
What you look at, how you study, it's going to be much different if you were preparing for Dragon Con as opposed to preparing for the Schmoedown. So it's just going to be interesting to see somebody in a whole differently formatted game come into this new game and see how it translates.
Yeah, it's
because because I know a lot of people have said this. We're not the first people to say the format's different. Nobody's trying to say that they're not good enough for the Schmoedown. That's not it at all. They are so amazingly knowledgeable. And there's things that they know that it's like, fucking why? But it's just a different game, different focuses, different strategies. Yeah, because it's going to be interesting to see how it translates.
They said it in the rundown. It's like, oh, I heard that there's a round where you have to name all the clone troopers. It's like, not necessarily, but there is a round where it's like, hey, what clone trooper is this? It's like,
What?
What?
There's only 500 zillion of
Yeah,
them.
there's so, and it's it's across the movies and all of Clone Wars. There's so many episodes of Clone Wars.
I mean, isn't there's stuff from books,
Yeah.
TV shows,
It's
everything.
unreal how much is stuffed into some of these people's. And this is coming from somebody that's like, why would I want to know that?
It's all canon, right?
Yeah,
it's not Legends.
all of canon.
But it's not Legends.
It used to be Legends, but I think since the Disney acquirement of Star Wars, I think they've like, oh, we'll just limit it to this. But it's canon. If it appears
But
in
it's
the canon,
still everything.
oh, it's video games are included.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong, but those YouTube shorts, the Force for Change, not the Force for Change, the Forces of Destiny. I'm pretty sure those are
Jesus.
free to be asked about too. So it's insanely impressive. I mean, I tried my best to play along. I navigated through.
Yeah.
I navigated my way through.
I mean, some of the competitors did too,
Yeah.
just to keep it real,
Yeah. And that's what makes it so different. It's like you don't get the luxury of like, because a lot of what Dragon Con is, it's like they show you a picture, and it's like, all right, who is this? You don't get that luxury in the Schmoedown.
Or is it A or B?
Or is it A or is it B?
Yet again,
Yeah.
not saying it's easier.
Yeah.
It's just different.
It's different.
So,
Because
I'm really excited.
You still got to know, is that this person or that person?
Yeah.
And sometimes you're like, I don't know.
I
That
don't
person?
know. A.
So if you don't know it, then your chances of getting the answer right go down significantly. But
Yeah.
if you know the answer, then it's like, as with any trivia shows, your chances go up tremendously. If you know
Or
it.
as I watched you do, you could not know the answer, but have some kind of other knowledge that helps you knock things out and go,
Yeah.
well, actually, that marking means this and that color means that.
Yeah.
Okay, then that must mean it's this person.
Yeah,
So,
or like this, like, hey, who this clone trooper is this person or this person? It's like, well, I know it's not that person,
Right.
So it has to be that person, and that's why I'm saying like you can navigate your way through it, but still, like if you don't know it, you don't know it.
No.
And there is a round where if you don't know it, whoops, you don't.
It is just, it's
Yeah.
so expansive, but different.
Different.
So,
It's a very different game.
we'll see what happens because Dragon Con is their playground. Schmoedown, it's
ours
a
play-
different one.
You're coming into our playground now, so
we'll
you got
see how it goes.
Yeah.
They might trample through. It might not pan out like
Yeah,
Dragon
'cause-
Con does. We'll see.
Yeah, well, because we've seen many a time with the singles division, people are very knowledgeable about all of movies. They just don't know how to play the game properly, and
That is a part of
and
it.
it costs them. So it'll be interesting to see how these people come in. And there's a couple other names in there, like God, there's this other guy that everybody was like, oh, this person is gonna wreck shop, and I can't remember what his name is. I apologize, but like, it's interesting.
Oh yeah.
So where you end up, I mean, where would you like to end up? Is there anybody that you think, oh man, this would be fun to be on this team?
I've
Or-
been asked this once or twice
Yeah.
already, and my answer is, I don't know. I don't know. I don't really have like a
Yeah, I need
I'd
to be on
love
this
to play
team.
for this person.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, all the managers are really cool people.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
there's
it would be fun to be on the same faction.
it
but-
would be, but I don't need it.
Yeah.
And neither do you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm a strong, independent lady. And Angie's a strong, independent man. So, it's whatever. We're not a package deal.
Yeah.
So
Wherever you end up, I'm just happy that you've considered to compete.
I'm just happy to be here.
I'm just happy that you finally said, yeah, okay, I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2021.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying, ladies?
Anything else before we get into the main conversation of what we're going to be talking about?
I don't know. You would think that Star Wars was the main conversation.
No, it's not.
As we usually do.
Yeah, but we're 25 minutes in, and I think we got what we want to talk about ahead of time already. But I think the main conversation that we're going to have tonight is we've teased it before. Like when we're in the offices, we're going to talk about the differences between competing in person in front of a live audience in the studio versus the new era, the digital era.
The millennial era, if you will. The Gen Z Zoomer era, you will.
Yeah, the Zoom format. if you can
Bunch
put
of
a stamp,
Zoomers over here.
put a stamp on it. I mean, there's no denying that there is a difference, and I've competed in all three formats. I mean, Grant, you might say like, oh, your debut wasn't a live event. There were 600 people in that room.
What? Who would say that your debut wasn't a live event?
I mean, because it wasn't like Schmoedown live.
Yeah, it was literally live in front of a room full of hundreds of people. Yeah. So yes, it was.
So
I love to. Please put me in a room with somebody that says that wasn't a live event.
I would
please,
because I would argue that I've competed in all 3 formats, and they all
yes, you. Was that a question?
And I would say, yeah, they all have very different feels.
Yeah. Did you? Were you on a stage in front of a bunch of people?
Yes.
Oh, I guess it was live. So yeah, you've done live, you've done studio, you've done digital.
I've only done one of the live events. I've only done one studio match, and it's different. I mean, because you know, I've said before, the lights at the studio. I don't know what the studio is going to look like now, since they're not partnering with Collider anymore. But the lights are. It's like, I mean, I'm staring at a light right now, and it's like that's all over in your face, and it's like. Sometimes it can get distracting. Obviously, a live event, lots of people staring at you. And I mean, we've both performed in front of large crowds before.
It tunes out to me.
Yeah.
I mean, every time I've been on stage, which has been countless times, I feel like the lights just kind of tune everything out. The lights are so glaring that at some point I don't even realize there's a crowd out there anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, and my live experience was different because it wasn't really like a stage, like
it was plain view of everybody.
And I can see everybody's
there
reaction.
Wasn't a bunch of stage lights.
And that's the thing about live events is you hear the crowd reaction to the question, and it's like, oh
yeah,
or it's either, oh my god, that's a tough question, or oh come on, that's such an obvious question, you should know it. Yeah. So that's the kind of things that go through your head sometimes.
It gets in your head. Potentially.
Yeah, and I will say that, the crowd does melt away after the first like 4 questions, because like before it's like I'm amped up, my adrenaline's pumping, I want to make sure I get the first question right, and once you start answering questions, it's just me and the board, and it's just me and the question. I really didn't. I think I looked up maybe twice.
Yeah.
During my first match, and even then, like I looked back down and I was like, oh, what? They're gone.
Yeah.
And it's just me listening to the questions. So the studio though. The studio is a very unique experience, though.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't in the spotlight, but yeah, I agree. Even as a person in the crowd,
because it's like when you're competing in the studio, it's like you literally have Christian, because Christian and Mark like 6 feet away from you,
right, and directly in front of you.
In the live event, they're off to the side, and like you can't really see them. But in the studio, they're looking straight at you, like
answer it, dummy.
Yeah. Hey, 5, 4. 3. It's like, oh Jesus.
Yeah, it's the reverse, because the live event it's like crowd, announcers, and then in the studio it's like announcers, crowd, over here.
And with the live in the studio matches, the preparation is kind of it's almost the same, because you're chatting with people. Like, I met Joseph Scrimshaw in person for the first time in my debut, and I spent most of my time talking to him. And Mark Riley and Ben Bateman came to the room. I'm like, oh man. It's the first time meeting you guys. This is awesome. It's insane. So, and it's like my mind's in a different place right now. It's not focused on the questions and things like that. And it's the same for the studio. People come in. We met in Chicago. Like Silver Stringy was there.
Yeah,
and her mom.
The coolest. Oh, her mom made brownies. What didn't she? She brought something.
She brought something. Yeah, and like people are chatting between matches. My match was the first one to be shot, so. After the loss, I got to chat with people. And Chandru, I talked to, who was it? Brendan Meyer was there. Yeah. We talked to him.
Bibiani.
Bibiani was there. We got to talk to...
Talk to him about Overwatch.
Oh, yeah, that's right. We did talk to him about Overwatch. Yeah. So, yeah, that's the difference between that. And also, like, we talked about this with the Finstock Exchange. The Exchange was a team that thrived off of playing in person.
I do believe
so.
And
I've had this conversation several times with Dagnito, that like, hey, I'm a guy that likes to be in your not in your face, but like my presence needs to be felt
right
while over there. And it's not just him. It's like when they rolled in there like 8 deep during the entrances, they were there the entire time. It's not like, hey, let me shoot this entrance here, and then I'm like, all right, cool, I'm gonna walk out the door and talk to somebody else. Like, no, they were there behind Gucci the entire time.
Yeah.
So, and that's the type of stuff you have to deal with, and that's why I'm saying, like, people like the people that thrived in this digital format, like Adam Collins went undefeated in the singles division in this digital format. Ace went on an amazing run in the digital division. How do they fare with people staring at you off screen? And
that's what I'm interested to find out. I don't know at what point we get to find that out.
Yeah.
Because, people won't wash their hands still. Who knows when we'll figure that out. But yeah, I am interested to see. I mean, we'll never know. In some bizarro world, I would love to see the same people that debuted
Yeah.
in digital also debut in traditional.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, that's never going to happen because, now that your feet are wet, we might
Yeah.
see a different version of you than we would have if you debuted live.
But it is something to say that once you're comfortable with the digital format, because you're at your own home,
My PJs.
In my PJs, I'm wearing sweatpants right now.
It just came from the kitchen.
Yeah, exactly. It's like your preparation is different because when you're in the digital age, you can block everything out.
Yeah.
Because I did that for my matches. Like you actually tell me 45 minutes before the match starts.
Go away.
Get in that room.
I don't want to see you.
I don't want to see you. Look at your cards, get ready, get your mind right into the match. You can't do that in the studio because you're chatting with people.
Want to talk to you. And you don't want to be a jerk and be like, go away.
Go away, I'm studying.
I mean, you could, but people might not like you.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see like how, because everybody's preparation is different. Some
Rituals.
People, rituals. John Roca meditates before he comes out of
Hey man,
the
whatever
back.
floats your boat.
Yeah, I mean, it's different, and especially not just before the match. In the match, it's like, yeah, you're looking at your screen, and you can see your opponent, but being like almost like 4 feet from your opponent has the daunt on you.
Yeah.
Because my first match, we were shoulder to shoulder.
Yeah, you guys were little peas in a pod.
Yeah, and then I had Laura Kelly across it from the desk with me, my second one, and then after that, it's just like, all right, it's just me and the camera, and it's a different feel. So I'm interested to see people like Adam Collins. Not to say what they did was great.
Not at all. I feel like we've made this distinction before.
It's just, there's just going to be people out there that have that asterisk next to for them.
But it was digital,
But it was
that kind of thing. And it just does beg the question of what would have happened? Would things played out differently?
And it's a fair argument. It's a very fair argument because even at wins, it's great to be, now I can relax at my own home.
Right.
But I said this on backstage, it's like, when you lose in a digital format, and especially if it's a hard loss, like Ben Bateman went through, like I went through, now you got to sit in that by yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, you were there to console me and comfort me after the loss, but like somebody like Ben, who I think he lives alone. I don't know if he has any roommates. You got to sit and stew in that forever. How long? In the studio and live events, you go out for drinks afterwards after live events, and you can
you go backstage and your buddies are back there like, hey man, that was tough, but you did great.
Yeah, same with the studio. You chat with people afterwards. You almost forget about that loss.
You're forced out of your funk, almost immediately.
Yeah.
But when you're at home, it's just like, all you do is think about that one question that did you. So yeah, that is one drawback for the competitors, and there might be some that say, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Everybody's different.
Yeah, I can only speak for myself because after that loss to Ace, I went out in the living room. I don't know where you were.
I didn't want to crowd you, so I left you for a little bit.
So I went out to the living room. I lay down on the couch and I sulked, and I was like, God, 8D8. Why didn't he occur to me? Why? And all these scenarios, like, oh man, if I would just did this in this round, if I would just, and it's like spiral,
Yeah.
and hopefully I'll have to do it. Who knows if my next match will be in the studio, because I have no idea when it's going to be.
Who knows?
Will it be a live event? I would love for it to be a live event.
That'd be pretty cool.
That'd be cool. Come on, the main event.
That'd be so
Damon Dimalanta, or Damon Dimalanta, whoever comes out of that.
Fill in the blank.
Fill in the blank, yeah. So that'd be great. That'd
be
great.
so cool, but who knows?
Yeah.
Wash your hands.
Wash your hands, people. We want to get back to the studio. Oh, man. Yeah, I mean, and do you have, because competing for people is different. I don't know how certain players, especially for players like Roca and Merle and things like that, I wanted to know what would have happened had it been flipped.
Yeah.
If all their matches were in person.
Yeah, because I feel like Roca is one of the people that he probably does thrive on the, like Andrew Guy too. They thrive on. That's what I'm looking for. Like
off of energy.
The energy. Yeah. Exactly. They thrive off of that live energy, the crowd responses, the adrenaline of it all.
And to that note too, players like Ben Bateman love to play mind games.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so much, not easier, but it's more effective to do it in person.
Oh, yeah. You can do a lot of little things when someone can see you out of their periphery that you can't necessarily do when you're just staring at a screen.
Yeah, Jeff Snyder was infamous for this. I mean, if you want to grab me that board right there. I'm sorry for our audio listeners grabbing a whiteboard, but he would do this thing, and I hated him for this.
Oh, careful, you're not loud. I think I know what you're about to do.
No. He would write his answer, because he knew it right away. He'd write his answer in the first round, and then he'd do this.
Oh yeah. Oh, I'd smack him in the mouth.
And
oh
he'd
man, that
look,
gets so annoying.
I'm sorry for my audio listeners, but that he turned the board over and hold it out so the other competitor
Yeah.
could see, like face down, and stare at his opponent.
Oh, that would drive me nuts.
It's stuff like that you can't do over digital. And I think to the Atlanta match between Dan Murrell during, I can't remember what round it was, but he would just like sit there like this and he looked at Dan
Yeah.
the entire time, and it's like that. I mean, you put like a rookie in that situation.
They're gonna
against
sweat.
Yeah, it's like I maybe not. Maybe they have like ice.
If it's me, I'm just doing this.
Yeah, maybe the competitor have ice, and maybe Collins would fare pretty well in a live event. But everybody was playing in his playground. He played in the fan leagues where it was nothing but digital.
That's true. People that came from the
he
families,
was comfortable.
they had somewhat of a leg up.
Yeah, off the bat, everybody was playing in his arena.
Yeah.
They weren't playing in Dan Murrell, John Roca's arenas that they basically built.
Yeah.
Where from the comfort of your own home over digital, I could see you're this small on my screen, so you're not really in my face. But like, we've met John in person. It's very different interacting with him over a Zoom call than it is in person. I mean,
Yeah.
it's very different.
Yeah.
I mean, Gucci for that matter too. He's very different in person. I mean,
Yeah.
pretty much everybody that we've met in person, it's different. And to see that character in your face in person, it would be something to like. It
might make you sweat a little bit, depending on how strong your resolve is.
Yeah.
Especially if you're a rookie. So, but then again, the other side of the coin that somebody could, I was just kind of thinking that,
Yeah.
because it sounds like we are kind of really harping on the whole digital made it, gave you a leg up.
Yeah, digital's the weaker of
kind
the
of
formats.
thing. But like, just devil's advocate, I wonder if there are any people out there that are like, yeah, but when you go to a live event, it's different. You're heading to the arena, you're heading to the studio. It's easy to get yourself into that frame of mind. But when you're at home, that's your sanctuary. You're at home,
Yeah,
you're
you're
relaxed.
comfortable.
How do you get in the zone at home? I was just kind of thinking that, like, when we're heading from the hotel to the studio, when we're heading from the hotel to Star Wars Celebration,
Yeah.
it's just kind of like,
All right, yeah.
your heart starts pumping. You're like, all right, we're almost there. We're pulling up. We're parking. You're getting in the zone. But when you're at home, it's like, I still got my PJs on. How am
Yeah.
I getting in the zone now? So
Yeah, I will
that
say
could be an argument.
I will say that it's the same feeling. It's just there's less distractions when you're at home.
Yeah.
When you're in a live event, there's people walking around. I mean, I try my best to tune all that out, but then there's people. Lower Carolina's people had signs, so it's like that's very distracting sometimes.
Yeah.
But there's gearing up towards the match, and like I'm walking around with my head down, not like sulking, but I'm trying to focus myself. I'm pacing back and forth. I can't do this in this small space, but that nerve of the match is about to start.
Oh no, it's always going to be there.
It's there. It's just and that is an argument. It's like, how do you prepare yourself? It's different.
Yeah.
I had my tactics of how I dealt with it. It was basically the same thing I always did for performing in front of live audiences and large crowds. So it was always the same as like breathing exercises, meditation exercises, just stuff like that.
Yeah. Same.
But people are different. Who knows what Adam Collins does before a match? Does he just like, all right, time for the match, sit down, let's go? Because he's a machine and all the knowledge is just there.
Probably like, I just got done with my dinner. Ready.
Let's go.
What's everyone so tense about?
Yeah. So wash your hands, people. I want to.
Yes. That's really all we're trying to say.
Wear your mask. The vaccine is coming. I mean, if you're on the fence about it, I mean, get it. I mean, you can't. It's been approved for human consumption.
For emergency use. It's been authorized for emergency use.
Yeah. So.
And kind of an emergency. So,
Yeah. So they wouldn't be doing it if it wasn't safe. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. So, don't we all want to go to a live event? I know I do.
I do. I mean, God. Because, yeah, I missed the free-for-all. The free-for-all was one of the premier events of the year. And that was another announcement. There's, like, this new, like, I can't remember what it's called, the Schmoedown. I should have watched Backstage again. But there's a new pay-per-view event, I think, that's happening every month. I could be wrong. But there's a Throwdown. And there's something else. I can't remember, but it's
no,
man, the $10 tier for the Patreon is
it's slapping this
insane.
year.
It's insane. Sign up for the Patreon for 10. You're getting everything. It's it's unreal. God, I know I'm forgetting something. That
Probably.
But
who knows? There's so much stuff that happened this week that we are.
What's today? Today,
today that we're doing this is Thursday.
Yes,
but you know,
because the awards
today that you're listening to this is probably Monday.
Yeah. So yeah, free agency doesn't come to an end until the 22nd, which is the signing day.
And then we got the awards coming up.
And the awards is coming up in the next week or two.
15th, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So there's a lot of stuff going on.
There's a lot of stuff going on. So, but we gave ourselves a break. Gave you that awesome ASMR video.
Sorry about that.
Yeah. But yeah, so we've been talking to a couple people. The podcasts have been reaching out to you to get you on. You're going to be on. Was it?
Well, by the time this comes out, I will have already been on it. But let's get ready. I'm gonna hang out with those bros a little bit.
It's fun. I like having you in part of.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it fun?
Oh, that's another thing, because I think another thing that Harla pointed out was, like, the awards for podcasts of the year.
Oh yeah.
It's gonna be different next season apparently.
Yeah.
Because we got mentions like, it's hard when a competitor runs it, and now that you're entering the draft, it's like we have a leg up on other people. It's like, not really, but So I think he said that they're going to be thinking about splitting the awards for podcasts into two different categories: one that is competitor run, one that is non-competitor run.
Right.
Yeah. So
which begs a question for me. Because on Backstage when he was talking about this point. Because you mentioned, Machine Mondays with Janine and then us, because it's, a competitor running the
podcast, yeah.
And he did bring up a certain point of view, having Molly Damon. He goes, well, the difference is that show started and they brought in Molly. It's not run. They would do the show with or without her. But that begs the question for me of, so where would that podcast fall? Would they fall in the competitor side or the not competitor side, because there is still a competitor?
Yeah, there's still a competitor on there.
It's just that they're not running it. So I don't know. Who knows?
I don't know.
I'm not in charge.
I think his mindset was like, well, the people that don't have a competitor on their podcast, they have to work harder to get attention rather than, I'm a competitor, so people are like, oh, a person that actually is in the Schmoedown, let me listen to them. So we're getting more clicks, I guess, that way.
I guess.
But that argument can be said about certain point of view, that Molly's on the show. It's like, oh, Molly Damon's on the show? Cool, I'm going to listen. Not only is she a Schmoedown competitor, she's on another very popular channel with Star Wars Explained.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. There's a lot of like...
I don't make the rules.
I don't know. And like we said before...
For a good reason.
Yeah. Yeah. And like we said before, like, we don't do this for, reasons. But
like we've said multiple times, we'd be doing this anyway.
We're doing it anyways.
We wouldn't have microphones and I wouldn't have to put makeup on. So, here we are.
Here we are. Yeah. So I think that's it for today. I mean, we said everything we wanted to say, unless there's anything else about like digital versus live that you wanted to talk about that can come to your brain.
I don't know. I feel like there is a lot still to say. I feel like we hit the major points probably, I guess. I don't know. I don't remember what we said. What is time anymore? I don't even know.
Yeah.
So that's probably it.
There's plenty more to talk about with free agency still going on. The draft is just around the corner. Yeah.
I think there will be more meaningful things to talk about once signing day happens.
Yeah, once signing day happens, and then it's like, oh my God, I can't believe this happened.
Yeah.
And like the conversations that I've been having, it's like sometimes the obvious answer isn't going to be the answer. There's going to be some surprises out there. And I'm not speaking for myself. I'm speaking for other people that I'm hearing things might happen this way. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Like, really? Okay,
really? That's pretty cool. That person might be going there. Okay, cool. And this is everything that I'm hearing is not set in stone.
No, nothing's. The only thing set in stone is Corruption's top 3.
Yeah.
So that's it.
We'll see.
That's it.
I'm excited to see where you end up if somebody picks you up.
We'll see.
Because like we had that conversation before of the Dragon Ball people coming in don't necessarily know the game. You've been around the game just as long as I have. So that's the leg up you have. And you have the name attached to you. the Dimalanta name is attached to this competitor. And I know, and I will say that Nikki is not how you spell your name, but Harloff did.
No, he's well aware of that.
Yeah, he said like it's a character thing.
Yeah.
So, okay.
I mean, honestly, I would take Nikki over other alternate spellings. I don't want to say the one I was about to say because I don't want to offend anybody that might spell it that way.
Yeah.
But I would. Nikki is. I get that a lot, and I'm okay with it.
Where do you see your character going? Because I know Harloff doesn't want you to be a heel.
I feel like it'll be a lot of this. So I don't know.
I can see you being the opposite side of my coin, like
whatever into your gang.
Yeah. So whatever I am next season, which if you pay attention to the Schmoedown, you fully well know what I'm going to be next season.
You gonna be an angry boy?
Yeah, I am an angry man. Sorry, inside joke.
I didn't mean that to happen. So you would say that I complete you?
Yes. Yes. So I
Wow.
foresee whatever I am next season, which most likely will be heel. You'll be the opposite side of me.
Precious.
Yeah. So if you do end up on the same faction, it'll be interesting to see.
Or maybe
both sides of that coin.
Maybe Andrew turns a leaf and goes, happy-go-lucky.
Yeah.
And then I go to the dark side.
I am interested to see what your nickname is going to be. I mean, you have to earn your nickname, but I think I want to know.
Throw me into the ring. I'll wrestle somebody and earn my name. Can't do that because of COVID.
I mean, the obvious one is the Huntress.
The Huntress is the obvious one.
Yeah.
Don't think I have a good shot of Dimmy, but it would be funny.
I think it would be fun just
It'd
like,
be
this
funny.
is Dimmy.
Like,
Somebody said in the Facebook,
Like who?
Idiots Array. I mean, that's a mouthful.
Idiots Array.
Nikki Idiots Array Dimalanta.
It doesn't really flow.
It doesn't flow.
And
put in the comments what Nikki's nickname should be for the Schmoedown.
I don't know. Kind of like...
I think something sassy, like...
Like Video Drew is just like Madonna, Beyonce. One name.
Yeah.
Dimmy.
Tom. Well, Tom's not competing this next season. That is
true. That was another announcement. Is that Tom
will
not be. He'll be not be competing this season.
Stepping away from competition.
Unfortunately, because Tom is a wonderful character.
He's a gift to the Schmoedown.
He's a gift. He's an amazing character. He's an amazing competitor. Hit a couple hard spots this season. I would have loved to have seen what would have happened this season, but I'm not sure why. But I hope everything's okay.
Yeah.
And
hey, sometimes you just gotta focus on yourself.
Exactly.
And maybe real life things got in the way. Work.
Exactly.
Might have gotten in the way. Scheduling. So.
Exactly. So I'm just saying, I hope everything's okay, and we will sorely miss him.
Mm-hmm.
And if he comes back, wonderful.
Yeah. But nicknames. It has to be something like. Oh, sassy.
Alliterative.
Not illiterate, because Andrew the Hunter Dimalanta isn't illiterate.
It's not.
Alliteration.
Alliterate.
It's not alliteration. Wow.
Yeah.
Sometimes maybe.
Sometimes maybe. Who knows? Yeah, I don't know. Not up to me.
Yeah.
Can't give yourself a nickname, otherwise that's lame.
I mean, a couple of characters came in. It's like, I am this, and I heard Harloff is rolling with it.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised.
I can't remember who. It's like two competitors that he's like, okay, cool, we'll roll with it. But
Wow,
I think because it
surprised.
worked. I think because it worked in the parameters that they're setting for this competitor. Yeah.
Nikki, we'll see how it goes. Dimalanta.
Nikki Dimalanta.
We'll see.
Put in the comments what do you think Nikki's nickname should be. But yeah, that's been. Oh god, I had. That's another thing that Harloff said that they had this 2-hour conversation with the managers, and he said that he had a couple of names that he was saying that these are the people that, not that I say you should draft them, but these are the people that I can see working in the league. I wonder if your name came up though.
Hopefully not. But also on that subject.
I don't get it.
Actually, no. Remember how I think the result of that conversation was the whole Roxy thing and the Sam thing.
Oh yeah, that's right. We did figure that. So like,
you take the reins because I don't understand.
Don't
draft
fully
stuff.
understand this, but trades happened with the team that is no longer
the Burning
Droogs, and now the Stars with an S, not a Z. Yeah, because they get into trouble if it was a Z.
Oh, yeah, I think that's a TV network.
Oh yeah, movie network.
Movie network.
Not like an
something
like an HBO. Yeah,
Yeah.
like an HBO. Roxy will have. I can't remember what rounds they were, what picks they were. I think it was their 3rd round picks. So she traded somebody for 2 third-round picks. So she will be getting those.
Yeah.
And then there was also talk of Sam Levine losing his first-round pick because he traded it for Ethan.
Yeah.
I think everybody agreed. It's like, no, that'd be stupid to no, he doesn't get to pick till whatever the second or third round. So I think they all agreed, like, all right, so we'll honor that Sam will get the second pick in the draft, and then also on top of that, Roxy will retain the picks that he traded for.
Yeah.
So,
which I think was the right move because
it was.
I think Christian mentioned that if we were to have gone back on Roxy's trade, then it might discourage creative thinking from the managers right now.
Yeah,
because they might be right now wheeling dealing. I'll give you this if you give me that next season, and derp. So now, if they would have seen that decision overturned, they would have been like, I don't know.
Yeah.
What if your faction goes belly up and you're not here next season and I get screwed?
Yeah.
So,
it
was the right decision to make, I think. It set a good example, a precedent.
Yeah, and I don't know if we said this in the last episode, but the teams will now be going from, what was it? It was originally planned to have 8 spots, or not 10 spots, to 12 spots. So, 12-spot rosters now.
Oh, yes. For a second, I was like, team's division? What are you talking about?
No,
okay,
so
the faction.
So each faction will now have 12 available spots. You don't have to fill all of them.
Yes.
But, woo.
Oh, boy.
Oh, man. And with all these new competitors coming in, especially for the Star Wars division, I mean, we've talked about it before, we foresee 2 Star Wars players on one faction.
When when every year somebody decides to go, we should retire the Star Wars belt.
Hey, man,
year.
If this last season showed us anything, the Star Wars division, and Christian said himself that he sees the Star Wars division surpassing the IG division this season.
That's wild.
So
that's crazy.
There's talks of having 2 Star Wars tournaments. Hasn't been set in stone, but there's a possibility that we're gonna get two Star Wars tournaments this season.
That's crazy.
I think he also said 2 IG tournaments, but he's entertaining the thought of 2 specialty tournaments this season.
Who wants to take bets high-low? At what point in the year will somebody say that we should retire Star Wars?
100%.
It's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
It's just a matter of when.
Yeah. It's like, oh, is it that time of year?
Oh, okay. We finally made it?
Yeah. And and everybody's like, oh, bring the Mandalorian in. You can't do it. If you're gonna do it, you would have announced it.
Yes. You can't just do it.
Yeah.
Do you understand? Do you understand how much pressure that would put on the question writers
and the competitors?
Yeah.
And if it was to happen for next season, you would have had to announce it now.
I would think
you would have to.
Just a lot of prep.
It is a lot of prep
because you're not going to watch it the same way.
Yeah. Granted, the questions for the things that are coming into the division rather than the movies. The movies question will probably stay the same, but if say you do add a Mandalorian, it's probably not going to be as like attention to like, hey, who's this background character and stuff like that. Because I think
you would think.
Yeah. Who knows? But if you were to do it, it would have to be next season, and you would have to announce it by latest mid-season.
You'd have to give it. If it were me, I'd be giving at least a season's notice, and then once you open that door, then as soon as you open that door, then it's gonna be like, what about Rebels? What about Clone Wars?
And that's the thing. It's all or nothing. You can't just say, well, we'll add just the Mandalorian. It's like, so you're just adding the most. And it is the thing about marketing. It's like, oh, people want to be, it's the most popular Star Wars thing right now. So, but
it's a slippery slope, and I'm sure we'll get there one day.
Yeah,
but you can't just be like, hey, by the way, guys, Mandalorian is there.
Yeah, for me, if you're gonna add Mandalorian, you might as well add the rest of them. And you can't announce it. It's like, all right, this season, well, like I just spent the entire last season studying just the movies.
It makes me chuckle whenever I see somebody be like, when are we adding in TV for Star Wars? Let's do it this season. It's like, do you understand how much content there is TV-wise for Star Wars, and how much legwork the writers would have to, oh my God, I can't even imagine how much work, how much scrambling they would have to do to get a robust set of questions to supplement, once every episode, to supplement the rest of the questions they already have. You can't just like, oh yeah, sure, TV. Yeah. Competitors, hope you're cool with that.
Yeah, you have to hire a staff to watch and write questions.
Yeah, and it's not an easy job.
It's not. But also, like, I think if you were to add something new, like a division or something, it would most likely be MCU, because just the
WandaVision, Loki.
Well, not including the new stuff, like the series coming in. Just look at how many films they have in there. You can easily make a division out of the MCU. 20 plus films.
Yeah.
Spanning 10 years.
Yeah.
10 plus years, I should say.
Yeah.
That's a whole division right there. So I always think we should have each year a different specialty cup.
That would be fun.
That would be fun. Like this year it's Harry Potter. Next year it's Lord of the Rings. Next year it's horror.
Yeah.
Because we kind of got that with the horror free for all this past season.
And it was fun.
It was fun. Yeah.
It was spooky.
Mm-hmm.
And it was fun.
Yeah. Wow, we were all over today.
Yeah.
We started off structured, and then we slowly...
And it just spiraled out of control.
We're the afternoons of the Schmoedown podcast.
If you don't watch the afternoons, what are you doing?
I am looking forward to the what is it? The Good People Association?
Yeah, the GPA.
The GPA. I'm looking forward
The
to that.
Good People Association.
I don't want to just talk about movies all day long or Star Wars. I just want nonsense sometimes. And,
Yeah.
You know, people like Ken and Josh. Yeah.
If you like Josh McCouga, if you like Ken Knapsack,
You like Mark Riley.
please. Well, yeah, but for the afternoons, give it a go. And if you also like those two people and Mark Riley, then stay tuned for the GPA
I'm
thing,
excited for that.
because I don't know what's going on, but it's gonna be good.
Anyways, all over the place today. Somebody chart that. I got somebody next to me that could probably chart it. But
I'm kind of busy doing other things now. Thanks to somebody.
I love that Josh McCouga commented on your announcement, like, write your answers on graphing paper.
Well, if you don't listen to the afternoons, you won't get that joke. So get to listening so you understand why that's funny.
Yeah. Anyways, I think we'll end this episode here. We already rambled on enough random things.
Yeah. Sobby.
I thought we were going to end early. Whoops.
Whoops, all berry.
Oops, all berries.
All right, let's wrap this up.
Shut up, stupid!
Thank you, Christian. Anyways, with that, we'll end here. Nicki Dimalanta, where can they find you online?
I'm on Twitter. And if you look on Twitter, you can find me at Dimmy. DIMMMYYY.
As for me, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Drew Dimalanta, DIMALANTA. If you listen to this on audio form, please follow the feed. Rate us if you can, please. It'd be very helpful.
And if you're watching us on YouTube, click the bell icon over in the corner.
Like, comment,
I
subscribe.
did it in the wrong order. Hold on.
Try it again. Put your thing down, flip it, and reverse
Put my
it.
thing down, flip it, and reverse it. If you're watching us on YouTube, like, comment, and subscribe. And also click the bell icon over there in the corner. See when we do stuff on YouTube.
She did it.
Nailed it. Yeah, I did it.
Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of Beyond the Schmoedown. We will see you guys next time.